Hi. Oh my
Hey
goodness.
there.
I know a few weeks ago you said just call and say hello to me. So this is me telling you that this year, one of the things I'm most thankful for is you, Dr. Cloud, because
Oh
I found you
no.
probably episode
You must have
20
had an
at
off.
the
If
beginning.
I'm as good as your year gets, oh, what has happened to you, Ann? It must have been terrible.
No, I tell you, I listen to you so much, probably about 4 or 5 days out of the week, that my husband says, "Are you listening to Lord Cloud again?" Yeah,
Well,
it's
I'm
pretty
glad it's been
serious.
helpful. What has been helpful to you
Very
about
helpful.
it?
I think just um, realizing that it's okay to look back and find my weak areas and how my weak areas may be not only affecting myself, but others around me,
Yeah.
and owning them and setting my own boundaries for things I need to change, and then setting boundaries to where I'm not as affected by other people's stuff, and realizing what's my responsibility and what's not my responsibility. I guess that's how I would sum it all up.
Those are good things. All good things. That's kind of working the program, or that's what normal people do, right? we we
Yes.
kind of don't have to be perfect. We admit we're not. We got issues. We own them. We realize, gosh, it could be affecting other people. We ask the other people, how can I do better? And then sometimes they say you can do better, and they blame us, and we go, well, that's not really my issue. That's really yours. And that's a pretty good program you just outlined.
Well, you've helped me with that, so I'm really blessed by that, and I thank the Lord for your influence in my life. Seriously,
No,
I'm
you're
trying to
kind of
work with someone right now that is it's my daughter, and I love her very, very much. She is a little bit of a sensitive soul. And when I've tried to lovingly help her with some of that sensitivity, she'll say, I used to think it was a weakness. Now I really see it as a strength, because if I am sensitive, then it helps me with my sensitivity towards others and what they may or
yeah.
may not be thinking or feeling, which I agree with that too. But how do you
How
keep
old is
the
she?
balance of that? Like,
How old is she?
she's 25, 25.
Huh. So when you say you want to help her with her sensitivity, what would be an example of sensitivity that you feel like she needs help with that?
Okay. Perfect example. Just this week, she had a friend who was misunderstanding some things that she was saying. So she was trying to help her friend understand better and trying to explain the situation a little more. Her friend got upset with her and blocked her, phone calls, Facebook, everything. And so instead of realizing, you can only give truth, and they have to receive or not receive the truth that you're giving. They have to be willing to communicate or work through something if they have questions or don't understand. Instead, they chose to just cut it all off, And so, of course, she's feeling hurt, upset, badly. They weren't close friends. They were casual friends, but something came up that was a misunderstanding, and she was trying to, like I say, work through it. So she was very upset by that and called me, and understandably so, but it has its place. It shouldn't be something that, over a moderate friendship that kind of, I think, continues on and holds you down for 3 or 4 or 5 days, to be able to just reach out to them and say, hey, I'm here if you want to talk, or maybe give that message through a friend, but then you kind of have to let that go, but she'll stew over that and really, really be upset by that for quite a while. So that's the kind of sensitivity, I guess I mean.
Okay. So, and then she had that situation. So, what did you do that she found not helpful and said, no, it's good that I'm this way?
Oh, well, so she spoke to another friend, and I'll get back to that question because I do hear what you're asking. She spoke to
Well,
another
no,
friend,
that
and
that
the
was the
other,
question that you called with, right? That you try to help her see it, but then she comes back and says, no, it's good that I'm this way because it helps me understand people.
yeah.
Or did I
Well, she doesn't
misunderstand?
give me no, you've got it. I was going to add more to the little bit of the story, but yes, going back to that. So if I say to her, well, maybe you're being a little too sensitive about that, or it's hurting you too long or too much, maybe you're just being a little too sensitive. If I use those words, then she'll say, no, sensitivity is good, because she sees it as whole package. It's okay that I'm overly sensitive about things, because that sensitivity helps me be aware if ever I'm saying or doing something to somebody else. Like, I would never do what this friend did to me because I'm more sensitive than that to how that would make others feel because I'm feeling it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. So what's the question? I think I have some answers to questions you may not be asking. So what's the question?
So how do I
What?
help her be sensitive to what she's saying towards other people and thinking about how they're going to interpret it, at the same time not being so devastated by her own sensitivity?
Okay. Let me go back to your intervention with her. Okay. She called
Yeah.
you. I want you to be her, because what you said was, well, you shouldn't be so sensitive. This shouldn't take you down a bad path for 3 or 4 days. You got to let it go. That's kind of what you said, right? Can't let it get to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you be
Yeah.
her. I'm going to be you.
Okay. Yep. I love when you role play. Mom, I had this terrible thing happen today, and this friend was saying this and this to me, but I wanted to make sure that they understood, okay, but yes, this and this. So I tried to be very clear to them, and they made a snarky response, and they've blocked me from Facebook. They've blocked me from texting them or calling them, and I just can't believe they would act that way to me, and it's pretty upsetting.
Wow, that's brutal. She won't talk to you anymore?
No, not right now.
She
Maybe
just
never.
shut you out, like totally, like you're done?
Yep. I guess so. Just said, nope, that's not the case, and then wouldn't let me respond and just shut me all down.
Well, that's a terrible
So
feeling.
It is. It is.
Tell me,
I'm pretty
like, what
upset
did it do?
about it.
Yeah, what did it do to you?
Well, I was upset, so I called another friend, and then when I called that friend to talk about it, they said, "Oh, well, maybe you were part of that problem," and then now I'm upset by what they said. So people
My
that
gosh.
I'm upset with.
So you got
Yeah,
stonewalled, and then you reached out for help, and then you got kind of blamed for the whole thing?
yeah, I did. So I'm really upset about it all. It's frustrating to
That's
me.
Well, is it just frustrating, or are you hurting?
No, I'm hurting. I can't believe friends would treat me that way if they're real friends.
Yeah, I can't either. That's terrible. I mean, you were trying to help, right?
I was trying to be very clear.
You must feel
It
really
just all got turned around back
misunderstood.
on me.
Yeah, you must feel really misunderstood by her. You're trying to help.
Yeah, I do. I do feel
Ah,
misunderstood.
that's gross. Wait, tell me, how can I help you? What would feel good?
Oh, I don't know. There's nothing that can really help me because I'm upset. This friend told me that I shouldn't have been handling it this way, and I'm upset that this friend is like not being a true friend and cutting me off. And now I've got all these tests I have to study for, and the whole thing's going to be upsetting to me. And I don't think I can put this behind me because it's just so bad.
When's your test?
In a couple of days, but this is going to be bothering me for the next week, probably.
Wow. So we need to figure out a way to kind of sort of carve out some way to put this off to the side while you can get your test done. It seems like the first thing.
Yeah,
Well,
that'd be good. I don't know how to do that.
Why don't you come study over here?
It's still going to be on my mind. That's what I don't know how to solve. How do I get this
Well,
off
and
my mind so
sometimes
it's not
we'll
just making
see,
me feel so bad?
we'll see. Sometimes to take a space where we're going to say, okay, I'm not going to think about it when I'm in there. I'm going to study and then go out of there, and then we can make some time to talk about it if you want, or. But sometimes to compartmentalize something for a time period is really good. That's one thing we could do. But let me ask you this: why do you think it hurts so bad?
Well, she would say because she's had a lot of really really big hurts recently in the last year or so. She's pretty tender,
Oh,
very very tender.
so it wasn't just this; it's a lot of other stuff that it was tapping into,
Yes,
right?
probably so. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm laughing. My daughter just walked past and I didn't know what was happening here. My college
Well,
kids
is
are
it with?
home from school. So
Well, I
you
have to know.
said,
Did they paint Finley's nails red and green? They were asking on
you, you,
Instagram, and I said red
you're,
and green, red and green. That was me.
you're going to have to go to Finley the Dobie to find out on Instagram, right?
Okay. All right. All right.
So, sweetheart, you've had a lot of stuff happen this year. This is just like one more stab to an already existing wound.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, now we don't have time to continue this. Okay,
Right.
but what are you noticing that I'm doing that's
You're
different?
empathizing with what she's feeling
Yes.
and trying to help her know where to put the feeling, at least for the time being.
Yeah. And that second one, we can give practical advice, okay? But I have never, ever seen, I mean, certainly maybe once, but by and large, to tell somebody they shouldn't feel some way, that you're being oversensitive, it's kind of like looking out the window and it's raining and we want it to be sunshining and saying, it shouldn't be raining today. I had a good day planned. Point being,
Okay.
now I'm not saying what you're calling oversensitivity. I'm not saying that's something in this way that she wants to retain forever. Now she says it's a good thing because it helps her, and there's truth to that, but I'm gonna get to that. What we're talking about here is it's not good that somebody she really doesn't know and doesn't, isn't that close to, and this and other. It's not good that somebody like that can have the power to send her into a bad place for a week. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying
I
that's
agree.
good. It's raining. But just because it's not good that it's raining doesn't mean that it's not raining. So what you've got to do is you've got to accept the reality that while it would be better if she could just shake this off, and you want to help her to do that, we're going to get there. She can't just shake it off that in that moment.
Okay.
So what you got to do first is you've got to really go into the empathic understanding of why it was so hard, and then you're going to get into what's happened this year, and then she's going to feel really understood, and that is going to give her the ego strength to let it go, but not until then. So I want you to change the first step to the one of empathy, and then we can think of all sorts of practical ways to solve this problem. And she's going to ultimately get to the place where she's not that great a friend anyway, and process this and change the thinking. But it's very difficult to change thinking from a hurt vacuum. So what she's got to do is not be in a vacuum and have you understand it, and then you guys can be partners, to work on this together. Also, I think she ought to be getting some help with some. Sounds like she's been through a lot.
Yeah, she has, and she does need help. She's in a doctorate program, and as soon as she's through that, I don't know how. It's been by the grace of God that she's gotten through the doctorate program.
What's the doctorate?
But when she gets through it, it's physical therapy at Baylor, and it is their advanced 3 years crammed into 2. And this girl, by God's grace, is carrying a B. she's killing it. I'm so proud of her.
I just had a knee replacement. Send her to my house. She can do my physical therapy, and I'll help her with this sensitivity thing.
Oh, I'd be coming with her for sure.
We'll barter service. Okay, well, I hope that's helpful to you. Thank you. What's
very helpful. It's very helpful, and yeah, we're going to probably gift her with the sisters and I are going to gift her with your program when she gets through this school year, and hopefully next year she can get back on track with some healing that she needs to do. But it is my joy and pleasure to speak with you, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a wonderful man of God.
Well, you're welcome. And let me just say this. I think of oversensitivity. I'm going to say one more thing. What she said about it's good that she has this. It's good that she has it in the 2 Corinthians 1 sense, which is one of my Favorite verses.
Favorite verses?
Yes. It says this. It says, we comfort others with the comfort that we have received from God.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that once we've been through something and we've worked through it, we're going to have great empathy for somebody that goes through
Mm-hmm.
things. Now, I don't have to continually go through it all my life to have that empathy. So I want her to retain her caring empathy for others, but I don't want her to have to be suffering from, quote, oversensitivity her whole life. I want her to have thicker skin. And I don't want her to have a splinter in her foot so that every time she takes a step, it hurts, which is what you're saying. You're saying, you know, walking across the sidewalk, that shouldn't be hurting you. Well, she's got a splinter in her foot. So it does.
Right.
Now, you're right.
Right.
Walking down the sidewalk shouldn't hurt normally. But if you got a splinter in your foot, walking down the sidewalk hurts. It's like having a sunburn.
Right.
Somebody comes up and slaps you on the back. Hey, how you doing? You're oversensitive, right? Well, you shouldn't be oversensitive. That shouldn't hurt. I've got third-degree burns on my back. So that's what you have to take into account with oversensitivity. There's a reason for it. It doesn't lead to good places because it does a lot of things, but there's a reason for it, and it's hurtful for people. It hurts people when they experience it, and we need to resolve it, and then they can empathize with people who have it. Okay? Look at it that way.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
Thanks for your call.